Welcome to the Brothers Chat podcast, where we discuss everything and anything football. I'm Taiwo, as most of you already know. And if you don't, get to know. We first have Richard, who is Bruno Fernandes FC.
That's right. You heard it here first. Bruno Fernandes, the main man.
Come on. Now I can't. We got Boaz, the Chelsea politician.
Yo, good.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, not too bad. Good weekends.
Yeah, Chelsea finally got a win.
Yeah.
First time for everything. We got Mr. Ollie in. Pauline Fowler, or Paul for short. If you could get off your phone for 1 second.
That's good, man.
Not too bad, man. We got Deli, who is here to discuss all things Man United. What you say there, mate?
You know the vibes, Mr. Objective.
Yeah.
Billy, he's not a sandwich.
No biases. No biases.
Yeah, no biases. Everything's subjective here. We got Manny, the Arsenal realist. What's good?
How you doing, peeps?
And we've got a newbie in Jake who lives, eats, and breathes Arsenal. What you saying, mate?
Evening, fellas. Thanks for having me.
No problem, man. No problem. So we'll go straight into it. People have labelled it the social media derby. It was a Saturday's evening fixture. Arsenal and Man United. Yeah, pretty drab 0-0 game. Yeah, I can't lie, I was very disappointed. But I'll start with Richard.
Oh, is it? All right, okay.
Yeah, we'll start with, I'm targeting you. Explain to me what happened and tell me what you thought of the match in general.
Yeah, the match weren't as exciting as I thought it was going to be. I thought there was going to be more goals in it. I thought United were looking into this game like they got a bit more of a point to prove after they lost to Sheffield United. So, and Arsenal trying to keep up their good run. So I think, yeah, he just missed goals. That's all.
Yeah, a lot of bite. It missed a lot of bite, and I don't know. For me, it felt as if Man United were very passive. It almost felt to me as if they were content with the draw, which is quite perplexing to me for a team that's supposed to be fighting for the title. I mean, what kind of vibe did you get when you saw it?
Well, I think with United, their form is based really on like little pockets. If they go on a really good patch or they go on a really bad patch. And after losing to Sheffield United, I thought they were trying they don't want to lose this game. That's they wanted to win or draw. I don't think Ollie was really fussed if it was a draw or win, but he just didn't want to lose. So I think he played this game with a bit more caution, I think.
Do you concur with that, Paul? Do you feel as if Man United went into the game not wanting to lose rather than trying to win the game?
Yeah, I think so. Still, I think that's how the performance played out anyway. Probably the team sheet as well, but I think with what we got, there's not much else we could do really.
Yeah, I mean, when you see a starting lineup with McFred, then you kind of know what to expect. I mean, Deli, what did
you... I was kind of disappointed with the line. Well, not disappointed with the lineup, I should say, but it was raised a few eyebrows. I'm not sure what Ollie feels about Martial anymore, considering that he rather had McFred and then Pogba on the wing.
This is just...
I don't think it was a game that we didn't try to attack. I just think there were certain moments where our players just weren't switched on. So, for example, Rashford, when he received Rashford received the ball twice on the left, and it's like he didn't know what to do. Or because it received it on the left, on the right-hand side, he wasn't comfortable to shoot with his left. There was an incident where who crossed it? I think it was Cavani, was it? Shaw crossed the ball.
I think it was Shaw.
Missed everyone. Yeah, missed everyone. Came to Rashford, he controlled it, and then it's like he didn't just slap it with his left foot. Like, I know the angle's a bit tight, but I feel like the effort should have been there by him. Obviously, McTominay had the shits, so can't blame him. But yeah, there's no intensity, and there's this weird thing between our front line now. I don't know if Rashford and Cavani don't like each other or something, but they just seem to not want to pass each other when they're open. It's like happened like 5 times now. It's weird. So I'm not really gonna say KG game. I think there's just moments and no team was clinical enough, and then second half everyone just kind of gave up, but everyone just thought, yeah, let's be a bit more cautious.
Yeah, I can't lie, I was disappointed. That Rashford chance, like you mentioned, hit it first time with your left foot. Why he tried to drag it back, and it just didn't make too much sense to me. And I feel as if that kind of typified Rashford's game. Like, he had probably the worst game I've seen him play this season. In terms of his decision making was all wrong. Like, he was doing the simple things look difficult. I don't know. I mean, I'll go back to you. I know Rashford's your boy. What do you feel as if it is because he hasn't exactly been in great form recently? So what do you think that atones to? Obviously, Martin Luther Jr., Dr. Marcus Rashford, do you feel as if he's kind of like, I don't know?
I think playing on the right has something to do with it.
Yeah.
Because he is easily our best left winger, but he's been played on the right because no one else can play there. So until we get that fixed, then it's going to be a problem. And it's not just Rashford, it's like the whole forward line. Like, Martial's not having a good season, Greenwood's not having a good season. It's only Cavani who's actually doing something. So it's just a problem from there. I don't know how to fix it, but
even then, we don't play to Cavani's strengths. Like, he just makes movements after movements. Like, the ball don't go to him. We rarely kind of cross towards him. It's weird.
We ain't got any players like that, though. That's the thing. We got left wingers that like to dribble and don't cross. We ain't got a right winger. So who's crossing the ball?
No, but I'm even
talking
about
really go forward.
No, but I'm talking about even the moments where, again, like, we saw it with the Liverpool game, the first Liverpool game. We saw it again the second Liverpool game, where both of them had situations where they could have passed each other in, and they just didn't. Like, even Greenwood, he had a situation where he could have just cut it back. Last week, he didn't do the same thing. So as I'm saying, I don't know if there's actual chemistry between them. Maybe them three are not really the biggest fans of Cavani. Maybe that what was that little comment he made? The Negrito thing pissed them off. I don't know, but
I think it's just poor decision making, to be honest.
Where do you think that stems from, though? Like, why is the attack so disjointed? Why is there no team cohesion? Why can't the front three play as a unit as opposed to them playing as individuals? You feel as if that's something we need to look into?
Can I just say, though, United should have scored yesterday. Don't get me wrong. Like, some of the chances you had, I thought we'd already conceded. There was no way. But Cavani, especially, his chance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
About
at least 2 goals. Yeah.
I know you're saying your attack's disjointed, but you definitely should have scored yesterday.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, no doubt. We've got the quality. Like, I would expect us to create chances, but it's about sustained pressure. And there wasn't really any sustained pressure where I can say Man United deserved to win the game. Like, I'd expect Man United to create chances with the quality they have on show, but in terms of like playing, it wasn't great. Jake, I'll go back to you. Looking at it from an Arsenal perspective, what did you think as an Arsenal fan?
Yeah, it was a good game to watch. I mean, for a 0-0, it had quite a lot of chances. Well, it's always a good game between Arsenal and United. I don't know why.
Did you actually enjoy it?
Yeah, I thought it was alright for a 0-0. We've obviously, being an Arsenal fan this season, we've played some 0-0s this season that have been so boring. Decent defending, but no attacking prowess at all. So there were some good chances, but for us, I did think a little bit at times you were there for the taking, but we just didn't have enough quality in attack. We needed someone like Saka in the squads, because recently especially, he's been finding that final ball or finding that final finish that we just lacked yesterday.
amazing.
I was saying Pepe showed signs of improving, but he still hasn't got that final decision-making bit to his game. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting for United because you'd expect, seeing as you're top of the league and now in like a title race, I thought we were going to have a lot more. But it didn't seem like your players were really like fighting for the title. It just seems like they're quite comfortable where they are, but be challenging.
Yeah, I think I'd have to concur with that. Like I said, I feel as if they were very passive. They seemed almost content with the draw. I didn't really understand. Like you said, they're a team that's supposed to be fighting for the title, so they should really be going for it, but they just seemed comfortable.
Yeah, I think, and that was what kind of Roy Keane and Jamie Carragher were getting at in the post-match analysis as well. Like Roy Keane, you think of someone like him, if he was in that team, he'd be getting all your players like, this is a chance to put a statement out to the Prem, like we can go top of the league again, above Man City, like pull your fingers out your arse basically. And there was just no one in that Man United team yesterday really that was really taking the ball by the horns and getting you going. It just seemed quite like, obviously you did create some good chances and you should have scored, but it just didn't seem like, and also it just didn't seem like there was really a passion to win the game. Like when it was going 0-0 towards the end, there was no like mad attacking subs or anything. It just seemed quite passive all the way through.
Yeah, I think we only made 2 subs. Quite perplexing. Obviously, Ollie had to make the enforced substitution with McTominay coming on for, or Martial coming on for McTominay.
Yeah.
And then who else did he sub? I can't remember. Who was the other sub who came on?
Greenwood
for Rashford.
Oh yeah, Greenwood. Yeah.
Like Van der Beek on the bench. I know he hasn't played, but he really could have made a difference as well. So yeah, it was a bit disappointing. But I'll pose the question to Man United fans. Do you feel as if it's a mentality issue that Man United aren't taking this on?
100%. Like even when like it's jokes because I was deep into the season. I feel like we kind of, I don't know, it's like we don't seem to want to play it. I think we've only played in like swinging the bats really. The only game I can remember is Southampton. The Southampton game is the only game I saw us really come out the blocks, really trying to play. Other games we've had to go down or we've had to kind of find rhythm in the game to eventually, progress and go forward. And I feel like we're just kind of disgruntled anywhere. Like, I don't know why. Harry Maguire seemed panicked. I don't know. I don't feel like he's comfortable anymore with Lindelof or anyone next to him that isn't Bailly since they've had their little partnership for like 5 games. The midfield, until Pogba joined, was disjointed. The front 3 are disjointed. I don't know. Maybe tiredness has to play a part in it. I don't know. I really can't put my finger on it.
No, I don't think it's tiredness, man. I think it's more. I mean, chime in, other United fans. Richard, what do you think it could be? Do you feel as if it's a mentality thing, or do you feel as if Man United just don't have it in them to at least contest for a Premier League title in this season?
No, I think they still have it in them, but it's just that I think they still were in a bit of a hangover from the Sheffield United defeat. That's all. I feel like that was just a bit of a reality check. So then they've lost that kind of hunger for it. So it's like it almost looked like they kind of just admitted that they're not winning the league. Let's just get as many points as we can so we can stay in the top 4. So I think they've any hopes of winning a title is the players are not in it no more. That's literally how the game to me looked like. That's all.
You think title race over for you? You've been singing it proudly. Man United are gonna win the title. They're gonna lift the trophy in May. Do you still feel strongly about that, or did yesterday?
That depends on the players' attitudes. The players' attitude from the Arsenal game and the Sheffield United game tells me they don't want to win they don't want to win the title no more. So I don't need to believe it no more. So until them lot feel like they show they want to win it, then I will believe in it. But for now,
you don't think the coaching has a part to play in it?
The
coaching, because I feel like United, like I've always said, we've had a scattershot approach of football. Like you couldn't apart from Pogba's over the top balls or Bruno's over the top balls, if we don't have that, what other style of way are we actually scoring or even creating chances?
At the moment,
really?
nothing, because the way our attack
So
is
is
going,
that the players or that the coach?
I think it's for me it's the players. I think Martial in the past obviously has proven to a lot of fans out there that he's capable of scoring about 20 odd goals a season, but right now he doesn't look like scoring about even 10, 15. Greenwood is not a right winger, so I can't be putting any responsibility on him. Rashford was good for about 4 or 5 games, and then all of a sudden now he's slumped again. So yeah, we need to score more goals.
I think inconsistency is a big word with United and your players. There's a lot of inconsistency.
Yeah,
100%. 100%.
And if you think about your squads, like you think of Man United and you think of like all the teams over the years that have been like title-winning teams, it's like who in your squad that do you have now that has like an experienced head on them in terms of like being in a winning team, like winning trophies and stuff like that? Like it's not.
Yeah.
There's not that many United players at the moment that have that experience to share with other players in the squad.
But to me, I don't think that's even a good enough excuse anymore. That whole winning mentality, because we look at that Liverpool side. Who in that side won anything before Klopp came in? And you know what I mean? That's why I say coaching kind of plays a part, because if you can't do individual brilliance, you can fall down into like a type of play which automatically will create chances for you. Like if we look at Arsenal's last few games where they have been scoring, they've been scoring the same kind of goals. It's like it is kind of counter-attacking, but at the same time, there's little cutbacks, there's little passes across. The same thing with City, same thing with Liverpool. And we're not seeing no type of play. It's been individual brilliance from each player. So are we relying on that too much?
Paul, I'll pose the question, because I know you're a strong advocate for Ollie. And do you feel as if it's the coaching aspect that needs to be improved upon, or do you feel as if it's more to do with the players?
My only thing when people say that is that's lazy, you know, like because they train how many days? Of course they're working on patterns of play. Like of course they are. Like it's not just coaching, like it's decision making as well. I think we have like so many players that we watch a game, they make so many bad decisions in the game. Rashford, Bruno, Martial, and it's all the creative players. So,
but is that lazy? Because I've heard Ollie say he don't tell players what to do. He'll just whiz you out the team.
Yeah, but is it true that
and that's always stuck with me and worried me as a person who likes the tactical side of football. When Ollie said that, I didn't like that at all. Like when we had all Pereira and that, he kept saying, "Oh, we did something wrong. I won't tell you. I'll just just won't put you in the team." And I think that's crap. As a coach, you can't say that. Your job is to make sure you get the best out of every player. You're making this mistake. Oh, don't do this. Oh, this here. Like, are these men even watching replays? Because again, it goes back to the Rashford and Cavani situation. The same situation of Cavani's open, the pass is open, but you're not doing it. Like it's been 5 times now. Like,
I'm
why
telling
is this
you
not
now,
getting corrected?
Every footballer after a game watches their clips, bro. They're told what you done wrong, what you done bad. Every footballer, fam. So they know what they do wrong and what they do bad, bro. So
fair enough.
Paul, do you feel as if Ollie is the guy that can take us back to the promised land? Or do you feel as if he's reached, because I said it a few weeks ago, for me, I feel as if Ollie's kind of feeling, I feel as if he can only take this group as players as far as he's taken them. So obviously we got third last year, like reached semi-finals, but we haven't gone past that semi-final stage. Do you feel that's Ollie's ceiling, or do you feel as if he can take us further in the current style?
I actually don't know. Couldn't answer that. Obviously, I want to believe he can, but I'm not sure. And then I
think he can, but not with these players.
Same. I still think until we sign a DM and we have a right winger, then judge him then, man. The squad's not complete.
But do you not feel as if we should be getting more? I mean, it's funny. I mean, we're second, aren't we? But Like, do you feel as if we should be getting more with the players we have? Because for me, I feel as if we have a really good squad. Obviously, we do need to improve in certain areas, but for me, this team is good enough. Especially,
But no one thought we would be where we are now. No one did.
But that's because
Absolutely
most
no
people
one
didn't think
did.
that. But honestly, most people didn't think that because of Oli, not because of the team not playing well. Because we've always been saying this is a good team. On paper, this team is better than most teams in the Prem.
very good squad.
Yeah, but about third. Well, we probably
Yeah,
have like the third or fourth best squad.
Probably even say you can arguably say second.
Second,
Yeah, apart from Liverpool, what other team
Man
really's
City,
got better
bro.
players?
No, Man City scored, surely.
Man City.
In the beginning of the
Easily.
season, who was saying that?
Man City have the best team in the squad, not even Liverpool. It's Man City.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do. If you did play for player, are you arguably saying, okay, yeah, I can see it. Like no one was had hope in Ruben Diaz when he first came. Everyone was saying, he's still erratic. He won't fit in the Prem. Like he come in and look at the difference he's making in the whole team.
Yeah, but who had them
KDB's
above
out,
us?
and then they're balling out their socks.
How many players did City rest yesterday? Because who did they have?
Well, they rested Cancelo, Sterling.
Yeah, exactly. I think they had Foden, Jesus, Torres up front, right?
Yeah.
So it shows you City can rest their star players and still tune out a performance. So yeah, you can't argue they've got one of the best squads up there. But yeah, for me, I feel as if Man United, going back to what I said earlier about them challenging for the Premier League title, I think as if mentally they're not quite there.
Yeah, I think it's all mentality with United. Because if you think about it, whenever people aren't thinking about United or they're not in the main focus of like media and stuff, they seem to go on a good run of results.
Yeah,
And as soon as they play a big team or get to a good position in the league, or like for example their Champions League group even this season as well, they kind of bottle it. The players kind of bottle it. They don't step up to the occasion. And this season, like they haven't won a game against the Big Six. There's been loads of 0-0 draws in them as well. Like went out of the Champions League when you're in a fantastic position. But it just seems like when this team with Oli as manager, as soon as it gets to a time that it matters, they can't actually do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it started from the end of last season when we realized that we might finish in the top four, and then the performance dropped like towards the last like 3 games of the season. And then all the semi-finals, and then the Champions League at the end.
Even semi-finals, even that stuff.
Yeah.
How many have you lost with Oli as manager? Like 3 semi-finals.
Yeah, I think 4.
But we should have won. Seville, we should have won. Chelsea, we didn't play our full team. There's reasons why there's semi-finals we didn't win.
The team was good enough.
Yeah, I feel as if we just need to get over that line, and I feel as if right now we're not quite there yet. So
sometimes you feel like Ollie's a bit too nice as well. I feel like he's just got a very like nice guy sort of presence about him.
I think that's a big
but if you hear what other people say, they say it's the opposite.
Oh really?
I think he just says face in the media because Ollie's not the type of guy that would ever like do a Mourinho and go off on his players.
Throw him under the bus.
Yeah, but I'd expect him to go hard already on these players behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors, yeah, I guess so.
But whether he's the guy to lead us to the title, I'm not so sure. I still have my doubts about that one.
Because I think he shows loyalty to the wrong players. I think he finds it very hard to take out his favorite players at the team.
That's rich coming from you.
Yeah, so I'm name and shame. Go on.
Well, he okay. One of them is not McTominay. Another one is Lindelof. Another one.
Say Bruno.
Say Bruno.
Yeah, not Bruno, because it's not because of Bruno. Any manager as a manager of Man United, with the stats that Bruno puts up, would still have him in their team, regardless.
I doubt it.
No other manager would drop him.
Well, do you guys want to drop Bruno?
I don't want to drop Bruno. I don't want to drop Bruno, but there's certain games where I feel like
come off at least, man.
Yeah, he needs to come off, and because all these decision making sometimes is so weird. Like I don't know why you wait till the 80th minute before you make subs. Like just change the game. So I feel like there's a bit of naivety there. Like, I'll give him his flowers. I've not been the biggest Oli fan, but I'll give him his flowers in the sense of when like of how great the team's progressed this season, but there's still not naivety of waiting until the 80th minute, 85th minute, like to make a sub. Like you waited for so long for McTominay to come off. The brother needs to go Taylor. Like, what are you doing? Like, the guy can't play, but you waited, you gave him like another 10 minutes, gave him a bill.
I couldn't get my head around that.
We could have
I couldn't
conceded
get
the
my head
goal.
around that.
We could have conceded the goal in that couple of minutes that McTominay was sick. We could have conceded the goal.
It wasn't even a couple of minutes. It was like 15 minutes of the game.
It was 15 minutes, yeah. It was 15
Surely,
minutes.
as soon as you see a player, when they receive the ball and move it on, bend over, that the minute you see that, you're like, no, he's got to come off. But he stayed on for like another 5-10 minutes in the game.
Yeah.
He wanted to play him out till half time.
I couldn't believe it. I was watching it with my dad, and I was like, we got to try and really try and score here because they're basically playing with 10 men.
Yeah, I was thinking, I also got to run at McTominay, and then I thought that was a weakness right there.
Yeah,
I was scared of Martinelli would just start running at him, to be honest.
Yeah, Martinelli's still not quite there in terms of his like match fitness and sharpness.
Yeah,
Or
if he weren't there yesterday, he would have probably scored that one goal where he just came back, saved Cedric's neck.
Yeah.
Just
Oh my god, yeah, he saved the goal. Yeah, definitely.
That
was brilliant defending. I don't know what the hell Cedric was doing, but because he was playing a load of them on side and he was also in the middle of the box. But this is what happens when you don't have a backup left back. You just have to start playing everyone else there, so they don't know the position.
Yeah,
it was good for you in Southampton though. It was great, in fact.
Yeah, against Southampton, he was brilliant. Like his pass into who was it? Pass into Saka when Saka rolled it across. That was an amazing pass. He's got a lot of stuff in his locker, but yeah, it's an interesting signing. I wasn't sure about it at the start, but he is proving a few people wrong now.
Yeah, I'll go back to the Arsenal side in a little bit. I just want to make one more point on Man United in the case of Richard's boy Bruno.
Why are we talking about Bruno here?
Question, man.
Why are we talking about Bruno?
I have a question. Am I not allowed to ask questions?
You tried to scapegoat him or something. What's going on?
I feel like you're just making a lot of presumptions right now. I've even asked the question.
You lot give him too much stick. Did you see his past completion? He had 91% pass completion against Arsenal.
I won't lie, yeah.
He had 91%. Yeah.
This is probably the best.
What do you want to say now? Huh?
He never really gave the ball away yesterday, so you can say he actually did all right.
So why are we talking about him?
You're going to read off his stats so you can let me answer the question.
Why are we talking about him? Go on, ask the question then.
Would you switch position or would you keep him where he is? Because I said the other day that Bruno's our best number 9.
Number 9?
Ooh.
Yeah.
What? Good shout, you know.
Why are you smoking?
No, you know, as a false 9, I think he'll be wavy.
If you see Bruno's average position, he plays as a number 9.
Yeah, he plays sometimes at that spearhead of the attack.
Not many times he vacated that space because he's running. He's pressing more than the number 9. You know what?
No.
I see him more as a guy that likes to drop into pockets. Like if he was like back to back with centre backs, I don't think he'd like the physicality. Like he finds pockets in that number 10 position and then moves from there.
If not number 9, then play him on the right. Put Pogba in the centre.
Yeah, I can understand why United fans.
Issue is if we do that now, we've got no one. So we've been lucky. We've had a few quarterback moments, I like to call it, with Pogba and Bruno coming in deep and then just doing long balls. Either Rashford's get behind it, Greenwood's, whoever's quick enough to get that. So I feel like if you do take that away from Bruno and Pogba, unfortunately, McTominay and McFred won't give you that. And then these men will drop deep anyway just to provide that. And then no one's up there. It's too vacant. So I think Bruno being free actually does make more sense. Just let him be free, go wherever you want.
So will you keep it the way it is? Because Pogba
recently has been showing a lot of discipline in terms of him dropping deep and holding the position.
I find Pogba such a weird one for you guys, honestly. I don't know if I was a United fan how I'd see Pogba. I don't know. Obviously he's in good form at the minute, but the kind of disrespect that he's shown the club as well. Like I know it's mainly his agent, but obviously his agent Raiola comes out and says all this stuff about him wanting to move away, and he doesn't come out and say no, I want to stay and play for United, like I love this club or whatever. He just leaves it, and I don't know, I just feel like he hasn't shown, and also he hasn't then shown in his performances enough to me anyway. What did he cost you back in the day? About 90 mil. Obviously, he's in good form now, but for the last year he's been pretty average. So in terms of his performance on and off the pitch, I don't think it's been good enough for 90 mil, or for United. In my opinion.
Firstly, he was 60 mil. He was 60 mil. Yeah, he was 60, and he was 23 when he came. I feel like the pressure on him was too much. You tried to make him into Yaya Toure, but even Yaya Toure had great players around him. When Pogba came United, I don't know who the hell was there. Rooney was still there. Old man Rooney. Fellaini, Pereira. Like, you know what I mean? I don't really blame him. I do think he should bounce. I personally think he should go. Like, I do agree with the disrespect to the club thing. But I feel like he's just been treated so unfairly for no reason, to be honest.
Yeah, like he's one of those players that probably gets scapegoated more than he should.
Yeah, way more than he should. Because even the same thing, I've done the same thing with Maguire. And I've been impressed with him as lately. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, I actually thought Maguire was good yesterday, I have to say.
Yeah, it's just a weird one, man. We need to revamp the team, to be honest.
Yeah. But
this is the thing that slightly annoys me about Man United's position. Like you're in second place, and your players have shown a lot. But I kind of agree with the point that I don't think your manager is going to take you anywhere. I think you can keep saying we need new players, like different players or whatever. But I think your players have actually shown in like moments of brilliance that they are good enough. I don't think that you have enough like coaching or tactics. Like you look at a manager like Brendan Rodgers, and I think this guy's one of the best managers in the league. And something that proves that is when Leicester play against big teams, the way they tactically set up is elite. Like they're so good. But when Ollie's set, you don't see really any plans from Solskjaer's team, like United teams, especially against the big teams. You just see McFred in midfield every time and see what happens, kind of thing.
I think we've relied on too many moments. There's loads of moments like last-ditch tackles or.
Yeah, I think for United, the thing that would take you to the next level is the manager. I don't think you need that many new players. I think it's the manager that isn't good enough.
There's a reason why we play McFred though.
What?
The solidity.
And if McFred was playing, we wouldn't have conceded that goal against Sheffield United. It's because no one else in centre mid drops deep and covers like defensively. I'm not even, until recently, he's not on it. Who else?
I ain't gonna put that on the midfield. That was poor defending from both Harry, De Gea, and Axel.
Twanzebe.
Oh my days! What about Martial?
No, let's just do it. Martial, he's a bum as well. Don't get to he's a bum. He's stinking the joint.
And Pogba was standing there as well, bro.
No, but then when the ball drops, no one reacted. As goalkeepers, as a defender, your box is your box. Make it yours. That's been our issue from like we have about seven.
About the second goal, bro, not the first goal.
Yeah, I am, and I'm talking about that in general because it goes with the whole thing of we have 7 6-foot plus guys, but no one seems to want to command anything. It's like everyone's so. Yeah, you do that, but no one's really taking authority. Say, hey, this. Like the ball was there, deflecting. Everyone's just watching. Why did everyone just watch? So what if the ball came in there? React. Like I promise you now, if Bailly was there, he's across that already. Their man were there watching it for time. Like even because if you watch, what's my man's name that scored? But yeah, if you watched it, he hesitated.
It's like FIFA when you're like.
He hesitated for time because he didn't know what to do. He was like, oh wait. Oh, these men gonna come across. He hesitated, so there was space and time for these lot to come across and get the ball, and no one did that. It was weird.
You know what that goal felt like to me? You know when you're playing FIFA, you're trying to defend and you're pressing the button as hard as you can, but they're not defending. So static, they're not moving. That's what it felt like. I couldn't believe it.
Why has Bailly not been playing though? Is he injured again?
Is that? No, Ollie just don't fancy him.
Really?
Yeah.
No, apparently he had a little knock.
He was injured against Sheffield United.
He was injured because I remember, was it the Burnley match prior to the Liverpool game, and he said that he was resting Lindelof specifically for the Liverpool game. That's why he played Bailly. When he said that, I was like, oh, okay, Bailly and Lindelof. No, sorry, Maguire and Lindelof are his preferred centre back partnership.
It's a Norwegian thing.
I don't understand because Bailly and Maguire complement each other so well. You can see that Maguire has had the best performances this season when he's been part of Bailly predominantly. So why he'd revert back to Lindelof and Maguire, I just don't understand it. But I'm not going to try and go too much into Man United because this has been very Man United central. So we'll go more on the Arsenal side. Obviously, I'll pose the question to Manny actually because Manny, you've been a bit quiet. Man, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there. What's the question? Sorry.
Yeah. What do you? Obviously, Arsenal went for a little barren spell. They've picked up form. Do you feel as if Arteta can salvage this season? Do you feel as if he's the man for the job? Do you feel as if he can steer Arsenal somewhere?
Do you know what? I they've done well so far, but our next 4 or 5 games will actually determine where our season goes. So I don't want to give them praise only for them to go lose on Tuesday at Wolves. Do you know what I mean? The next 4 or 5 games will determine how our season will shape out. We've got some really tough games coming up. I think Saturday wasn't the best game I've seen between Arsenal and United, and the games have actually been poor very recently. But it was the first time where it wasn't Arsenal who were going into the game as... It's weird. Arsenal didn't go into that game as, the team looking to get something off an understrength team. It's usually United who have been understrength. We're going to try and, get a cheeky win, and it never pays off. This time it was the other way around, and we actually held our own. Could have played better, but I'll take the draw, and it's positive. So, yeah, if we can take that sort of fighting spirit and get some players back over the next 4 or 5 games, I think we could definitely do something. But again, it all depends on who's available and what systems we play. Because I know we're going to even be light because a few players will be leaving apparently. So even that, I think, doesn't help. But we'll see how we go.
How impressed have you been with the young players that have stepped up recently, like the likes of Smith Rowe?
There's only 3 young players who have really stepped up, unless you want to count Kieran Tierney as young. But I don't know if I wouldn't count him as young. Martinelli, since he's been back from injury, he's been eased in. He's been doing his thing. Saka, just absolutely amazing. Like, fully deserves that number 7 shirt. Smith Rowe, I see potential. I definitely think he's given us something different going forward that we didn't have in terms of connecting our midfield and attack. But I need to see more. I think too many people have jumped on the Smith Rowe bandwagon, and the moment he has a bad game, everyone's just going to say, "Oh, he shouldn't be playing." So, me personally, I just want to see a bit more of him before I say for sure if he's the real deal or not. But so far, so good.
What do you think of Smith Rowe? Did you see a lot of him before he made it to the first team? What was
I saw clips. I saw quite a lot of clips of him at Huddersfield when he was doing his thing in Holland. I saw clips. I didn't really watch him, but I saw clips. I heard, I heard talks of how good he was. I think one game I went to at Arsenal, they got him out on the pitch. I think he'd been part of the England under-17s team or something like that, and they had just won a championship, and he was talking up how he wants to go first team. So he's definitely been around for a while. I think Arteta was forced into using him as opposed to using him by choice, because he didn't use him in Europa. I think he used him I think he used him once or twice in Europa. And now he's taken his chance in the Prem and he's doing all right. But Odegaard's here now, so we'll see how that plays out as well. So what'd you say?
I'm excited about that.
Say that again?
I'm excited about Odegaard.
He's not the player I would have got, but we'll see how he... I wouldn't have signed him. I think I know the player I wanted, but I will take Odegaard, see how he goes. I think there's talk to make that deal permanent if he has a good half a season. Yeah. But I don't think half a season is enough for a player like Odegaard to show his true worth. But if he does, then it's amazing. But if he doesn't, then can't really blame him.
Yeah, fingers crossed that he hits the ground running. Jake, I'll pose the question to you as well. Where do you stand with Arteta? Do you feel as if he's a guy that can steer Arsenal back to the promised land?
Yeah, I mean this season's been tough, man. It's been tough. It's not been fun at all. Like, honestly, I think that the spell that we had, where we just weren't scoring goals from open play, we were losing games at home. We were genuinely next to the relegation zone. I think it got to about 4 points off the relegation zone we were at one point. In that moment, I have to say some of the performances that we were putting in that moment has to be up there with the worst Arsenal teams that I've ever seen in my life. Like, genuinely, the position we were in, the lack of everything. Like, the defense wasn't the worst thing, but then when we started conceding goals and losing at home to teams like Burnley, it was dire. Like, I just saw no positives at all, and I was finding it really hard to think Arteta was the right man to stay. And I obviously angry a couple of times. I would say I'm not sure he should be in the position anymore, because it's impossible to have a team that are this bad. And then obviously, since December, we've gone on a good run. The defence has been a lot better again, and I think there's a couple of reasons for it. Obviously, the run of fixtures we've had has been nice. It's been a good run of fixtures to have. And I would also say the introduction of Smith Rowe as well, because at the time we were playing William at Cam. Well, who else? William at Cam. It's just disaster because he's so slow on the ball. And what Smith Rowe did, it was in attack. Smith Rowe and Saka on the right and in the middle. They just move the ball so quickly. You put the ball into Smith Rowe, he turns and moves it on quickly. Whereas William, whenever he gets the ball, he takes his time, looks around for a bit, takes a few touches. So someone like Smith Rowe coming into the team, I think he's been brilliant. I think he's a chance, and he's exactly what we needed in the team at the time. But yeah, so those two things, the fixtures we've had, and also the introduction of a couple of players. Obviously, Partey's come back recently from injury as well. Aubameyang's but yeah, I think we just got to take it slow with this team. There's obviously that thing about trust the process. I'm willing to trust it for a bit longer, because there's some good things about Arteta, like his management of big games and stuff like that. It's promising from a young manager. But yeah, I'm more relaxed at the moment, given the fact that we're moving up to the top half of the table.
I tell you what though, like when you look at how bad we were and being close to the relegation zone and losing games to like Burnley and the game at Leeds, it wasn't even like, don't get me wrong, this Arsenal team, bar a few players, is dead. But it was just the confidence that wasn't there. And I think that confidence wasn't there because they didn't have anyone they could trust to sort of make those chances. Like when William was in the team, all he's doing is crossing, and he's crossing, Arsenal, when Arsenal cross, usually it's, like a low, hard driven cross or mid-height cross, because we haven't got tall players who are going to attack the ball like that up front. My man's just crossing, just hitting it into the box like just a punt. It was atrocious. And I go back to the whole Pepe thing, inconsistent. It wasn't yesterday, but a game, I think it was Southampton. Step over after step over after step over, dancing feet, and no end product. He's the reason why I still blame him for why we lost to Olympiacos last season.
But do you think that had to do with that no one was coming in to help him? There was moments where he was isolated by himself. He was in the box, bro. He could have, even if he got a shot off like he did yesterday when he was doing the step overs, fair enough. But this guy was he just does step overs for fun. And yeah, it's great having that ability to take people on, but there's no end product. There's no delivery. Like how Willian and Pepe can't beat first man with set pieces.
Yeah, our set pieces are horrendous sometimes. Like
they can't beat first man with set pieces. So I think taking them out of the team definitely re-galvanized the team. Definitely. I agree with Jake. It's a lot better now, and just trust the process. I like Arteta. I think he needs time to get more of his own players in. I think Arsenal are they're becoming ruthless, and I think they still need to be a bit more ruthless when it comes to just axing players, because there are certain players that I wouldn't even bring in as subs. Like, it's just, the bench isn't great. But it's funny how we still have a good defensive record despite the fact that we went through that period. So
yeah, I mean, the stats say we're the third best defensive team in the league.
Yeah, one thing I would say that he's definitely made you lot a lot more solidified in terms of even yesterday. You can see how well drilled they were, Man United.
Yeah,
because you can see they were.
And also the fact that signing a good manager is improving players, and Rob Holding this season I think has been fantastic.
I think he has.
He's been putting in performances. Obviously, over the years, he's been at Arsenal for a while now, and he's only really ever stepped up in those big games at Wembley, maybe against Chelsea or something like that. He's always been a monster in those games. But it's only this season is the first season that he's got a run of games in the team, and he's actually taken his chance with good quality defensive performances. And he's the one defender that's always been in there. It's always Rob Holding and Gabriel, Rob Holding and David Luiz. And I think he's really taken his chance well this season to get a run of games and defend well.
And that came about by accident.
Yeah, I mean,
he was on his way to Newcastle.
Yeah. And we kept him at the last minute because Arteta wanted more cover.
But I definitely think when everyone's fit, like obviously David Luiz has gone in the summer, Mustafi's gone in the summer, so we only have.
Mustafi might have gone now. I saw.
Oh yeah, even perfect. So we'll have
I'm celebrating.
Centre backs.
I'm celebrating that.
So yeah, Rob Holding definitely, I think, first name in defence on the team sheet until he makes a mistake. I saw Gabriel in the Southampton game. I don't know if that was because it was his first game back, but they need to.
Because obviously he had COVID. Well,
yeah, he had issues with COVID, like being ill, and then I think we found a really good thing with Holding and Mari at the back, so he was just being benched. But he's a young centre back still. I don't think people realise how young he is. He's like 22 still.
Who Holding?
Gabriel.
Oh yeah, 22. He's very young.
And so sometimes he has these tendencies to be a bit rash. Like so, I know Man United fans, you'll probably feel when we played you and beat you 1-0 that he probably should have got sent off. His tackle on Greenwood probably should have been a second yellow card. So he has those like young centre back traits where he can be a bit rash and rush his tackles a bit too quickly. And so I think Arteta's doing the right thing. If we've got two players that are playing well in defence, like Holding and David Luiz are at the moment, then there's no reason to change it. And he can just keep on working with Gabriel and training to get it better and more up to speed. But
question: Saliba comes back next season.
Yeah.
Do you think he will finally get a game with David Luiz?
It's a funny one. This is one thing I was going to bring it up earlier, but I forgot. One of the issues I have with Arteta is you can see how stubborn he is on different issues, different things around the squad. Like he just seems like a really stubborn guy. Like it's happened with Ozil. It's happened with Saliba. So then there's some other, and like continuously playing Willian. It's just like he's being stubborn about it, and he just wants to continue doing his thing. So I think it will turn good eventually. But with Saliba, I mean, it is tricky. I think Arsenal fans have overreacted a lot to it because what other team in the Prem do you see playing 19-year-old centre backs week in, week out? It's just I mean, Fofana obviously is an anomaly, who I will admit is a very good player. But you look around the rest of the top teams in Europe, and there's no other 18, 19-year-old centre backs starting games week in, week out. And he should have got a chance. He should have got a chance in the Europa League this season, 100%. I don't understand how he didn't play in some of those Europa League games against like Mulder and Dundalk. But I think him going on loan isn't actually the end of the world. But I think if he doesn't get a chance next season, then I don't see much of a future for him. Because if Arteta's just going to continuously be stubborn, then he's not going to sit around the club for the rest of his life. So with someone like that, he is going to have to play him next season. But I think it's not the worst situation in the world.
It's a weird one though, because obviously you've then got Chambers, you've got Pablo Mari, you've got Saliba, you've got Gabriel, you've got Holding. Not bad options when like individually decent players, but then do you keep someone like David Luiz around as an experienced head, because
I mean,
one thing we won't have is experience.
the thing is that's the thing, and also you watch games like yesterday. David Luiz was brilliant, so he's still showing that he can do it at a good level. He does still annoy me at times. He still has that moment of madness in him when he could get sent off or give away a penalty. He always will have that. And he also just keeps shooting all the time, which really, really annoys me. But he is good, as you said, in the dressing room. A lot of young players say he helps them. And you think about us young centre-backs coming through like Gabriel and Saliba, he'd probably be quite a good guy to have around. But maybe more as a coach and less of a player would be ideal. But obviously, I think he still wants to play football. So I don't know. I don't really mind. If Arteta wants to keep him, I wouldn't mind a 1 year extra contract. But at the same time, if he doesn't, I won't be so upset.
Last question, Arsenal. We're going to go on to the next segment. Top six?
The thing is, recently for me especially, is I've been keeping my expectations low because it's less disappointing when we do fuck up, really. So, and this team is unreliable still to me. Like, I still feel like we have a shocking performance in us, especially if we get injuries and have to start playing people like Willian and Pepe regularly. But in terms of setting goals like top six and stuff like that, it's doable because this season is crazy. Like, West Ham were 4th last week, and Leicester are up there as well. So it's not going to be easy. But I think, as Manny said earlier, we've got some hard fixtures coming up. We've got quite hard fixtures all the way through the next couple of months. Like, we've got Wolves and Aston Villa away next 2 games.
Do you feel as if the fixture kind of define? I know there's still a lot of games to go, but do you feel as if the next set of fixtures will define your season?
I think so, because we've shown that we can do it against like Newcastle at home now, and not even and we've played like the Crystal Palaces of the world and all those teams down there, Brighton, West Brom. So the next games that we play against like good opposition, and a harder opposition at least, is definitely going to prove to me that this team has turned a corner in terms of like creativity and ability. So yeah, the next couple of months we'll see.
Yeah, Manny, what do you think? Top six, or are you just keeping the expectation?
Nah, like Jake, keeping my expectation low. I think top 10 is very good. But top 6 is a miracle. I think we've missed out on our chance to even try to qualify for Europe by getting knocked out of the FA Cup. I think United will win the Europa. I think United will win the Europa, if I'm honest with you. They've got the best squad in the competition now.
I think they'll lose the semi-final.
Hopefully we can get to the final again. But yeah, I think we need this. If it wasn't for the revenue, and if the owners are not going to be not going to be stingy and actually pump some money in, I think a season out of Europe is probably needed.
Yeah.
So I think I've said it many times. Being in Europe sort of papers over the cracks for us because it takes away. Because, like, for example, last season was atrocious, but the owners would think...
That's if you think about it, that's what we thought when we dropped out of the Champions League. We thought, okay, finally one season we're not going to have Champions League football, so the owners are going to do something and buy some players. And they didn't. We got Pepe, I have to say, is such a disappointing use of 72 million. The way I would have taken Zaha over him, I said it in the I would have loved Zaha over him. Zaha in our team over Pepe would have been worth the 72 million.
I even said that.
There's signs of him improving, but when you spend 72 million on a player, you don't want a player who's halfway there or almost there. You need a player that's...
Do you know what? Fair enough, the transfer fee isn't Pepe's fault, but it's the fact that Pepe hasn't actually done anything to adapt to life in England. Do you know what I mean? He should be ahead of some of the wingers. He should be ahead of Martinelli and Saka in terms of his place in the team.
Saka's teaching him how to play right wing. He's 19.
That's a crazy. What's he, 26?
But in answer to the question, top 10 is good for me. Top 6 is a miracle. I don't see it happening though. every team's actually quite good this season, but anyone can beat anyone.
I think the Arsenal fan base particularly need to just chill out a bit. I think like Arsenal, you see on like social media and stuff like that. And I was telling Ty earlier, I run an Instagram page, so I have a lot of like experience with like Arsenal fans on social media, because I've run that page for about like 8 odd years now, and the fan base is so reactionary. And so we're just so quick to swarm on stuff. And I've been guilty of it also at times. And I really tried this season to stay level-headed and just accept the process. I did struggle when we were loitering around 15th, 16th. I struggled a lot to stay level-headed with that because it was so bad. But I think next season, Arteta would have had about 4 transfer windows then, or 3 transfer windows, and if we aren't next season knocking around that top 4, top 6, then I'd be asking some serious questions again. But this season, I think it's just about getting to the end of the season because it's been so bad, and just regrouping at the end and hopefully showing some signs of improvement in the next couple of months.
Yeah, 100%. We'll digress to the next topic, which is Chelsea orientated. But before we
Wait,
get
hold
into
up. Before we just say anything, it was a 0-0 draw, but we spent like how long talking about Man United versus Arsenal? On a 0-0.
For the time, mate. Biggest teams in England.
Arsenal United special.
Well, obviously, Lampard got sacked. I think the day after our last podcast. But as I know, at one point you were very adamant that Lampard would keep his job and Roman wouldn't get rid of him. He's been sacked. What's your reaction? What did you think when you heard about it? What do you think of the appointment of Thomas Tuchel as the new Chelsea manager?
Yeah, like I think I wasn't surprised. Like I think most of me was hoping that Lampard would stay for the rest of the season. However, like I'm not surprised that Abramovich pulled the plug on the project. Like he has a record of doing so, and Lampard, unfortunately, the results just weren't in his favor. And it's been reports on like the training ground as well. Like players weren't happy as well.
So come out as soon as the manager gets fired.
Yeah, like I think like Czech was doing the rounds with like all the football agents and stuff, and like
of course.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't to be. So no, it's a shame. Like it's a shame that a Chelsea legend has kind of like ruined, or not necessarily ruined his name, but like I guess it's just a little blemish on his career. But no discredit to Lampard. I think he is a good manager. I just don't think things were in his favor at the time. The appointment of Tuchel. So there's been 2 games so far, and there's been a few changes. Obviously, like changing to a back 3, which is like reminiscent of like the Conte days where Chelsea were actually quite a good side. So yeah, I definitely see him like utilizing the Bundesliga talent in Chelsea. So we have like 6 players who either played in the Bundesliga or will play for Germany. So hopefully he'll get the best out of them as well.
Be able to find Werner.
Only Werner can find himself. Like he obviously has problems scoring, and like even against Burnley, he just looked desperate. He looked desperate to score a goal. Like I can't fault him on his effort to do it, but yeah, like he's just lacking confidence. He just can't find the ball in the net. And I don't even think Tuchel could help him with that.
Yeah, I'll pose the question to other football fans so I can get a subjective opinion. I'll start with Richard because I know you always have nice things to say about Chelsea. What was your reaction when you heard of the Lampard sacking, and how do you feel about Thomas Tuchel, and where do you feel as if he can take Chelsea this season?
I think with Lampard, it was a bit too soon. I think he should have stayed to the end of the season. I think it was a bit too rushed. I don't know what Chelsea were trying to expect from this season, because I don't think the way they played or the position they're in is really, at this stage, it's not a reason to sack him. I mean, I would get it if it was Man City or Liverpool, but it's Chelsea, so I don't get why they should have sacked him like this early in the season. So
I think they sacked him because his stats weren't showing he was doing anything. Like his win ratios was quite poor.
But then
I think
look
it's
at
like
Ole's one was worse at one
Four-
point after the same amount of games, and we still kept him, and we're top of the league.
true, but Chelsea arguably have better players.
Arguably, yeah.
Arguably.
I said arguably for a reason.
Over 200 million and they're ninth. Do you not feel as if that's underachieving?
But no, but like I think it was a bit early, just because like in December we were top of the table.
Yeah. But then look where you are
Say
now.
December. Oh.
Like the beginning of December we were top, we were first.
It's true, man.
I feel as if a lot of people first.
Pardon?
I said I feel as if a lot. I swear about 19 me first at one point in the season. So it kind of tells you. What
Yeah,
season
something like that.
it's been.
But it shows like we weren't always a bad team, and obviously Lampard did do a really good job last season getting fourth without spending any money, and just utilizing like youth players. So I don't think he's a bad manager. Maybe it was a bit too early to sack him, but it's Chelsea. Like it's kind of what you signed up for. Like he kind of knew the deal before he joined.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I felt as if Chelsea, because obviously Chelsea is synonymous with sacking managers. It's the bread and butter of Chelsea, but I feel as if they're going to take a different approach. Obviously, Lampard's a young manager. Thought maybe they were trying to do things a little bit more organic, and it's almost as if they reverted back to what made them. So I definitely feel as if Lampard took the job too early. I feel as if he should have maybe grafted and worked his way up, maybe similar to like a Steven Gerrard.
I think it was his fault.
training Scott.
I don't think.
I don't know.
Have
I think it was the players. I think you should blame Werner Havertz for everything against that.
Definitely blame Werner.
What is
I think the Chelsea board. I think the
Like
Chelsea
money,
board
your
fucked
car.
him.
Lampard's
Yeah.
Chelsea days, isn't it?
But like,
I think the Chelsea board fucked him
Yeah.
How?
Tell me money.
because okay, so we've got a young manager. He's had one good season at Derby, and the next thing you're taking him to become.
Hold on, was that season at Derby actually good?
manager.
They came fourth.
What I'm saying is the bare minimum. Bare minimum.
They
came fourth.
but let's put it in context. Like in terms of Derby, they will probably say they had a decent season, and like they got into the playoffs. They were unfortunate. Lampard did a lot with young or youngish players. He took I think he took 2 or 3 players from Chelsea on loan, and he worked with them. So like Mount. So obviously they've taken them. I just don't think Chelsea actually knew what. I don't think they grasped the reality of what they needed to do to get back to being really competitive, and I don't think they gave Lampard a chance. So, for example, like we wanted Arteta first season, but we knew the job was too big for him, and he's never been a manager. So we went with someone with more experience for the time being, and we waited till the time was right. I think they should have at least given him another season, got someone as a stopgap in between, and then brought him in. Do you know what I mean? They brought him in when they had the transfer ban. So he did, and it's kind of like they've only just used him as a stopgap. And now the ban's been lifted, they gave him players, didn't work, so we get someone bigger in. And I just don't think he's had the chance. And now it's where does Frank Lampard go from there? Because I don't see him going anywhere in the top 4 or 5 anytime soon.
I definitely feel as if he's doing a job, not obviously not. Or
I think it's Germany for him, if anything, or West Ham if they get.
Nah.
If West Ham in a few years.
Well, it definitely won't be Germany. Them lot are kind of. I think they're kind of a bit like Italian football, where you need to show like your degrees in football. Like, and from what I've been hearing, Lampard got a lot of these jobs straight out of nepotism, not really because he was qualified.
Yeah,
like when he got Derby, he was still. He was still doing it. No, you know what it is. Honestly, truthfully, I'm not a big fan of these ex-coaches getting jobs now. I mean, ex-players getting jobs so quickly now because I feel like Pep kind of ruined the game because he came in, did so well, and then Oli came in, had that brilliant stint, and everyone kind of got gassed. Then Arteta, then Lamps. I'm not really a fan of it because I feel like a lot of people underestimated how good or how much Pep studied football before he even said, I want to take over Barcelona B team. Because they were telling him for time, come to the B team. He was like, no, and just study over here and just study over here. Like he went around before he said, okay, just for the B team. So it's like, you know what I mean? I'm not finding it. I think Lampard.
Saying, but even Pep himself, everywhere he's gone, apart from I guess Barcelona B, but everywhere he's gone, he's had the resources.
True.
Good point.
So I'm not saying Pep's a shit manager because you can be, you know, you can have the best players in the world and be shit. But what I'm just saying is, I think Pep, if he went to, I don't know, like Pep I don't think he's been tested properly, and even things like not winning the champs with City and stuff, I think it's his own fault because of actions that he's taken as a manager, not because he hasn't been back.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I think with these young managers, like employing these managers that are ex-players, it's just a gamble. Like it's a gamble by the board.
Yeah.
If you think about if you think about each club situation when their last manager was sacked for Arsenal with Emery, there wasn't actually that many like top managers around really. I seem to remember at the time Everton just appointed Ancelotti just before who I would have taken at Arsenal.
I wanted Mourinho.
Well, no, I wouldn't have had him. I can't lie.
What?
But I think, it's just obviously some of these clubs have gone for a gamble, and I do like the idea of it. But I think some of them, like Lampard, especially at Chelsea, I think that they underestimated the size of the job.
They should have got someone to back him. They should have got someone to support him. They like bringing in your own coaching staff is great, but he brought in I don't know, like what jobs has Jose Morris held apart from, you know, being with him at Derby and Chelsea's academy? He's not really been there and done it. Do you know what I mean? Like, Oli brought in
players. They're ex-players, bro.
Yeah, Lampard was at Derby, and his next step up, maybe he should have waited to get Derby promoted, or he could have gone to a team a little bit lower in the Prem first.
I think so.
But he shouldn't have gone straight to Chelsea.
But I don't think Lampard really Lampard didn't have a choice.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Lampard and you're a club legend and they come to you and they say, we want you as manager, you can't really say no. So I understand why he took it, but I'm sure in hindsight now, he probably regrets it, taking it now.
Yeah.
But what do you mean by
I don't think he does.
You don't think he regrets it? I think he does.
I don't think he does.
I think he would have regretted not taking the chance. I don't think he regrets it.
I think he did the best job he could.
At the time,
you can't spend that amount of money on the amount of talent that he bought in the transfer window and go on the results that he did. So maybe, I mean, it was obviously because Chelsea missed out on transfer windows. They just went a bit mad last summer. But yeah, it felt a bit like career mode, like an inexperienced career mode.
Yeah, but
going out and signing all these big players for big money.
I think Lampard was trying way too hard. I think he was trying way too hard. Go on.
Sorry, carry on.
No, I was saying that I think he was trying way too hard because obviously he knew what is at stake at Chelsea. Like, if you don't have a good first season, they'll sack you. So I think he tried way too hard with the whole buying the players, but way too many at the same time.
Because they came fourth last season, so they didn't actually need to change that much.
Lampard, because he got them.
Remember when they signed him? Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I was saying give credit to Lampard because he did get them into the Champions League. He got them to
exactly, but they got fourth place and then they made all these signings. I don't know if they needed to change their setup that much. If last season they're getting fourth place.
No, I think Lampard's situation was because he was stubborn, to be honest. Because no offense to Mason Mount, I think he's good, but I know a lot of Chelsea fans. I know he divides that fan base quite a bit. Some guys don't like him, some guys like him. Then I mean, he's quoted to be Lampard's son. You know what I mean? Adopted and all that. But for me, like with the players you had, you just weren't trying to play them in the right positions because you was trying to fit in. I think Mount was kind of the issue. You're trying to fit him in so that you were trying to fit the team around him and not put everyone in their best positions. I feel like when it's in the early days, just play your team. Like even the situation of Hudson that was going on mad. Like now he's turning up. Like he was spinning Burnley today. That man was struggling.
Bro, did you see what they said?
Man, they were spinning them. That was like one of the best performances I've seen from like an under 22 in a long time. Like
Hudson
he was really doing their dance.
falling
what
for
I
it.
thought with Chelsea though was when they brought him in, I thought, okay, Chelsea are now switching their model. They're getting a young manager who they're gonna back, and I even thought they were gonna back him because he's a club legend.
Yeah.
Obviously, that wasn't gonna work. But then,
And also, you can't account for how bad players like Werner have been. You can't if you're Lampard, you can't expect that.
Yeah, no, he's a
Fam, I'm not believing no man from the Bundesliga anymore. Even Thiago coming here, he's looking ass. I ain't believing none of these men from the Bundesliga.
I love
Thiago's
Thiago. I love
alright, bro.
Thiago. I love Thiago.
Thiago's good.
Nah, Thiago's a baller, but he's not doing what we thought he would be doing. Let's be honest. Let's not do that.
time, Delhi, man. Liverpool, they've had a
Liverpool
Nah,
had
but
another
they-
down season.
Thiago
they
oozes class. He just oozes
No,
class.
but he's not even doing them passes that we think. Yeah, Thiago's the guy for. He's not even doing nothing like that. Like, Werner today, it was
he's only just started playing games for them properly.
true.
Game.
Maybe. But there's even like one situation today with Werner where the ball came across. I don't know what kind of control or mistime. It literally hit his back foot. So he had his right foot on to shoot. Hit his left foot. And I was thinking, what is going on?
But that just epitomizes work this season. This is why I posted off social, like missing like last seen Red Bull Arena, because the guy's been anonymous. So,
But it's not even just Chelsea's on the pitch results that got Lampard the sack. I don't know if you saw, but David Ornstein said there was even problems with Peter Cech, that Marina lady. So there was a lot of stuff going on at Chelsea, I think, because he wanted to get rid of players and they didn't want. They kept the players. So yeah, like there was a lot of that going on as well. So obviously, when you've got that coupled with on the pitch results, it's always going to end badly for the manager. Always, no matter what happens.
Been a general
Do you think it was an undermining thing? Like, apparently didn't trust his decision.
Like, he didn't want Jorginho, but they wanted to keep him. So, like, that was one thing. Then apparently him and Peter Cech didn't get along or something like that. So, yeah, all of that sort of stuff.
He wasn't talking to certain members of the squad since December. Like half of the squad.
Yeah.
And the general consensus that I get is that he's not a great man manager.
I think it comes down to experience again.
Yeah.
I heard that in Derby as well. In Derby, the players said they didn't really always understand him. They said, who's his second man? They said if he weren't there to explain, they said if he weren't there to explain certain things, they would have struggled because they said he's not a good communicator.
That's the thing. You need to be a good communicator because as much as some of us like to criticize Ollie, you can tell that all the players want to play for him. Like, agree with his tactics or not, you can tell that the players want to play for him. But for the case of Chelsea, you can't really say that all the players are playing for him. So I feel as if that was part of the reason as well why he lost his job. But
Chelsea will always be Chelsea. I wasn't surprised that they sacked him.
Yeah, this is the mode. This is the mode of Chelsea. They've been doing it.
I think this new manager, Tuchel, I think he fits Chelsea's criteria anyway more than Lampard in the first place.
I mean, who else were they going to get? They were never going to get another inexperienced manager. There's no one else.
Yeah.
I mean, they wanted Nagelsmann, but I don't think. I think then they chose to get a manager to start now because otherwise they were going to get someone in the meantime and then get Nagelsmann in the summer or something.
No, but Tuchel's scary though, man.
But I don't know.
With this Chelsea team, he'll do amazing, I think.
Tuchel gives me Unai Emery vibes, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, because they're both renowned to be decent in European competition. I mean, Tuchel hasn't left on a special legacy at PSG, the same as like Unai Emery. I mean, time will tell, but he hasn't really done anything as like a manager to show that he's like world class at all.
You don't think winning the Bundesliga is not enough?
Did he win the Bundesliga? He didn't win the Bundesliga. They won the cup.
I think he did. Oh yeah, he won the cup. You're right. Yeah, he won the cup.
He won the cup, and he didn't win the Bundesliga.
They win the Champions League either. So I know obviously there was a lot of incidents that occurred. Mbappe, Neymar, individualistic moments.
Yeah, I mean, he's using players like that. It'll be interesting to see. I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting one. It'll be a good thing because I don't really know much. I haven't got to know him at all. So when new managers or new players come to the Prem, it's quite interesting to kind of like get to know them, get to know their tactics, how they like to use players, and already he's come in and started playing free at the back, which I didn't expect him to do.
He's put Lonzo back.
Right,
Lonzo back.
Dropped England's best left back today. I mean, how did you feel about that, Boaz?
Yeah, Marcus Alonso came out from exile. And yeah, like he scored like a typical Alonso goal, to be honest. But I think that's the thing about Chelsea. Like Chilwell works well in the back four, whereas Marcus Alonso, like his days with Conte, showed that he works well in the back three. He's more attackive. And when you reduce like his defensive responsibilities, you get the most out of him. Like even on the right, you've got like Troy playing there, which is almost reminiscent to me of like Victor Moses playing there when under Conte. I'm not saying they're the same person. Obviously, Troy's a lot better player than Victor Moses, but like it just goes to show that like he's bringing the old flair of what Chelsea had. So I think there's potential in this formation. And yeah, it's good to see Alonso back. He had a really good game, so it'll be interesting to see what happens next. I'm not too sure how Chilwell will play in a back three with a back three.
You do have pretty perfect players for the three at the back system, I think, at Chelsea.
Yeah, like SP works well in the back three.
Yeah, like when
so does
Arsenal
Silva
were
as
doing
well.
it, when we had Tierney, because Tierney was filling in as that left centre back, and it suited him really well. And you kind of got that with Azpilicueta, who's so versatile. I think he's like the perfect man for that right centre back role. And obviously under Conte, he was in that team that won the league.
Yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely.
with the three back formation. And it'll be interesting to see if he does keep it, because I know when new managers come in, Arteta did it at Arsenal as well. But new managers love when they come in to like sturdy the ship almost and play with a back five just to make everything a bit tighter and a bit more safe defensively. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually keeps it or like moves into a back four after the first couple of months or something.
Yeah. Well, I'll pose the question to you because I want to hear what you got to say about Chelsea. Where do you feel as if Chelsea can go this season with their new manager? What do you think of him? About him from what you've seen?
I think he's all right. He's all right manager. It's just what style of play is he going to bring to Chelsea? I think already you're seeing that. Huh?
I was going to say, what is his style of play? What is he trying to implement? What is his blueprint? From what you've seen,
from what you've seen already, I think they just made him like more passes. Like they like to keep the ball more. Like so, it looks like a possession-based football. So, see what he does there. I think getting the personnel right is key as well, and then probably trying to get Havertz and Werner on form is key. I think that's key to his job. Havertz and Werner.
But that might take a while because I think he's going to start playing around different players to find his best 11 in it first before he starts playing them. So I don't think he's just going to keep on playing them until they find form. I think for him it's more like
find his team. That's why he kind of switched to a back three today, and then obviously done. Was it a 4-2-3-1 in the last game? So he feels as if he's just at the point of experimentation.
Yeah. No, it's still a back three last game as well.
Was it back three last game?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I was looking at it wasn't a back three.
Because it was still the same back three as Thiago, Rudiger. Yeah.
Silva.
And then Chilwell on the left and Troy on the right.
Nah, Chelsea's perfect for him, man.
Pardon?
That's something he's going to do predominantly. Do you think he'll stick with the back three, or do you think he'll just go game by game?
I think he'll stick with the back three. Like I think, like the performance in both these games have showed that like we're capable of doing it. Like the back three that we have are quite solid, and it gives us room to kind of go forwards. And there's flexibility in it as well. But yeah, like I think it's only time will tell like what sort of personnel we'll be utilizing within it. So yeah, I don't know about that.
I'm not sure about this back three for Chelsea though, because Burnley troubled you today, man. And to come against like another team, I think you'd get like you face a tougher test. Like Burnley today, I think they should have at least scored one. I think.
They had no attempts on goal until like the 94th minute or something like that.
But I think it was their play, and it's just that the last attack. Like, come up with someone else with quality. I think they'll be under a lot more trouble. So
yeah, it remains to be seen. We will see. You guys want to talk about the Man City game? Did anyone catch the Man City game?
Against Sheffield.
They struggled a bit, you know. It was surprising. So I was a bit. It's petty to say I was a bit happy about it that they struggled a little bit. They had to kind of. But I feel like it's weird. Yeah, it made us look a bit better. But I'll say what it was. It's interesting seeing City play without Kevin at the minute. I feel like slightly they've been playing a bit better because they're not relying on him. So I feel like we're seeing old school City in the sense of their passing's a lot more fluid. They've seen a lot of one-touch football happening. The movement is a lot better. So it's been good, to be honest. It was a good scrappy goal from Jesus. But yeah, man, City players, City do what City do.
Yeah, winning matches. And this is why it's a funny one, because I look at City and look at Man United. I feel as if City have been there, done that. Like, they weren't, like Deli said, like, it wasn't a typical, like, mesmerizing City performance, but they did a really good professional job.
The main thing for them has been their defence, especially in 2021. The form that they've been on, they've conceded like 2 goals in like 13 games. With Stones and Diaz at the back, like, it's insane. Like, the numbers that they're producing, the performances in defence that they're producing, they just don't
is crazy
anymore.
Yeah.
So if you keep a defensive record like that, then there's only so many points that you can drop in a season. So at the moment, I don't see anyone else winning the league, especially if they get even better in attack, because at the moment they are relying a bit on Jesus up front, and he's not really doing the business that much. But if they can find someone up there, like I know they tried Ferran Torres up front a couple of times, or if Aguero comes back to match fitness or anything like that. But yeah, I can't, especially with their defence in 2021, what they've found, I can't see anyone else winning the league.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, difficult for me to take, but I'll put City up there as the
favourite. Gundogan as well recently. I don't know what he's turned into, but he can't stop scoring.
Yeah, he's looking nice. he's
looking amazing. He's looking like the old school Gundogan, the one that was hyped up from that team? Dortmund. Yeah, he's playing great football at the minute. But again, I think it's just the space, unfortunately, you get when your star man's not around, so you don't need to rely on him. I think sometimes the psychological switch turns on, like, okay, cool, the main guy's not here, so we got to step up. And then you do step up, and then you realize, oh, I've had this all along. Not realize, but you remember, kind of thing, that this is what we can do. And then, yeah, man, City have just been amazing. Diaz, he's crazy. I don't think.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Actually giving his flowers. Stones have done a good job to come back, to be honest. Yeah, good resurgence, because he was out of the team for what, a year and a half?
Yeah, he's taking Laporte out of the team.
Yeah, and he's been real good as well. So and Cancelo, I've really liked how Cancelo's fought his way into the team in that right back position. Yeah. The team's great, man. City have a good team.
The depth that they have is just insane. Like, every position.
When you can rest Mark, Sterling, I know Aguero's been injured, but he hasn't played for the majority of the season.
Honestly, I can't imagine having a squad with that strength and depth.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
This must be so not. This is the thing that you can say Pep Guardiola's a great manager, which he is, but he's living in luxury right now.
Yeah,
no manager on the planet has the luxury that he has with his team.
Yeah, and keep them all happy at the same time as well.
Yeah, it's not easy.
They're happy because they're winning. But the only question I have at City is the Champions League.
Yeah, I mean, who have they got? City? Have they got Real Madrid? Did they have Real Madrid? Am I making that up?
Yeah, maybe one of the Spanish clubs. I can't remember. Is it Real Madrid? I can't remember. I'd have to check.
Do you think they might have Gladbach?
The Gladbach.
Oh yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, it's not Real Madrid.
Yeah, City should win. All the issue is, it's just like I remember KDB saying about we don't play normally. We normally do in Champions League. I think that might be a pet thing.
There's too much pressure on it now.
Yeah, he overthinks Champions League games, so he tries to tweak things too much, and then he just f's it up. But if he plays normally, I think they've got a really good chance this year, to be honest.
Yeah, if their defense keeps playing like it is, then they can play. They can beat anyone.
Yeah,
absolutely. We'll go to the last game. West Ham v Liverpool. Liverpool running out. 3-1 winners.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake, I'm on you anyway, so let me start with you. What did you think of the game?
Yeah, I watched it. I don't know. Liverpool's team is it's so strange this season because I'm looking before the game and they're starting that guy Nat Phillips and Henderson at centre back.
Yeah.
And they've showed a graphic on Sky before the game as well. And this season, Liverpool have used 12 different combinations of centre backs this season. And for them to have done that and still be up and around where they are is just like it's insane. Like I don't know how their board get away with not bringing in a centre back this January. I think this. I can't understand it at all.
They spent all that money on Tom Brady.
Yeah. But
They've got a centre back now.
The 2 million.
Ben Davis or something from Preston.
Yeah.
No, come on, get out, guys. Come on.
It's a centre back. A centre back's a centre back.
Come on, guys. Relax. Come on.
Look at Joe Rodon at Tottenham. They signed him.
Joe Rodon started today and they're still losing.
Yeah, they're still losing.
That's what they want, isn't it? I'm surprised they didn't sign Upamecano. But I do understand it would have been difficult because when everyone's fit, how do you fit him in? But
yeah.
I'm just surprised.
They're waiting for him to because his contract's up in the summer, isn't it? So they're just waiting for him to see where he's going.
Well, no, yeah. I think Leipzig are just more open to selling him in the summer. And he's got a release clause of 45 mil, and I'm pretty sure Bayern are going to get him.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Manny, you said that
Huh?
You said that they'd struggle getting Upamecano into the team, but do you not feel as if he'd be there to partner Van Dijk? I know Joe Gomez.
No. What I mean is, so Klopp's go-to is Van Dijk and Gomez when everyone's fit, right? Yeah. My thing was Upamecano for me is too good to be sitting on the bench. So do you then, obviously you're not going to drop Van Dijk, so then do you compromise Joe Gomez's development for Upamecano, or do you just, get someone like they're doing now who you're going to sort of give time to develop while Joe Gomez also progresses and keeps his number one spot as
I think it's all about strength and depth. It's all about, as City show, it's all about, you can never have too many, well, you can obviously with player relations, but I think Liverpool definitely need another top quality centre back because you need a bank of players. If like this season,
100%.
This season their two best centre backs have got injured. They needed someone else. Oh my God, Brighton just needed 40 seconds. Sorry.
That's why I thought they would have gone for Upamecano and just said screw it. When everyone's fit, it's a competition for places, but they haven't done that. So I'm a bit surprised.
He would have cost a lot of money. That's why though.
Yeah, I think everyone's waiting because he's 40 million. Or something,
yeah, that's what he ain't going to be 40 million now.
Is it?
Is he 40 million now or in the summer?
Is it summer?
No, in the summer.
Okay. But apparently we've offered them Mustafi as well, so hopefully they take that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he signed on a little contract.
He ain't going to Arsenal, boy.
Huh? What did you
say? I think he's either going to Liverpool.
We've offered Liverpool Mustafi.
I think what's going to happen is we're going to terminate Mustafi's contract.
Right,
yeah, tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think
he'll be a free agent if they want him.
Oh, wow.
And I think they'll sign him as a free agent.
If they don't get the guy from Preston, it would make sense.
Yeah,
but they've had their bid accepted, and I think he's going to go because he will definitely play for now. Matip's injury prone. He can't play. Like I don't understand.
He's made of glass, that bloke.
Yeah, does he take knee ligaments?
He's dead out. He's done out, man.
That for a few months, right?
The thing is, I wouldn't be surprised next season if everyone was fit in Liverpool centre backs. I actually think based off this season, because they've obviously got a really good bank of midfielders now as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Klopp went Van Dijk and Fabinho at centre back because the way I've watched Fabinho in Liverpool's team is him at centre back. I only see in the Prem Ruben Diaz playing better than him at centre back.
Yeah.
This season,
Van Dijk is actually Fabinho's actually fantastic.
He's brilliant.
He's a cheat code because he can play right back, he can play CDM, CS. He's ridiculous.
And also props to Henderson as well. Like he'll keep his place in midfield, but in centre back, he's done a job playing next to some really.
I think as he gets older, he
players.
could turn into a centre back.
But
And if that's a
that,
lose-
that
He's
takes
had
me
a
to my
madness
issue
change.
with you,
When he a striker first, became a winger, became a CM, became a DM, and now he's a centre back. What a guy!
But
Reminds me
that
of Milner.
reminds me about what's it? Oxlade Chamberlain. Man doesn't even get a game. He's a sub.
I think he's just coming back from injury.
Again? Nah, see, he's been around. He's been back for a while.
Like
He's just been a sub.
Yeah, he hasn't. He's
No,
been
but-
quite needy for them. Like he's been quite average.
I think Klopp's been patient out of injuries as well because it's happened too many times where guys get injured and they're injured out for so long. I think he's not trying to rush nobody back anymore. Like, take your time, get fully fit.
I just don't think he's going to make it in that centre midfield for Liverpool.
No,
They've got too many good players.
Curtis
I
Jones
just
is
don't
taking
see
his
him.
spot.
Curtis Jones is a baller, by the way.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. He is. Good player.
So where do you guys feel as Liverpool, or what do you feel is they can achieve this season? Obviously, they went through.
They're gonna come second.
Second place, United third. I think Leicester fourth.
I think they're coming second.
yeah, I'd
place.
agree. Man City then Liverpool.
Yeah, it was a funny one because obviously I don't think it was the general consensus that I got, and it wasn't so much Liverpool fans, it's more rival fans. They were saying that perhaps Liverpool may have peaked because they don't necessarily show the same levels as they did a few years ago, and they've dropped a level a little bit. And you've got certain players like the front three, primarily, that are at the wrong side of 20. You feel as if they've reached that stage and they need to have not so much a revamp, but they need to.
No, you 100% need a revamp because when you look at all the teams that win, they always change something. Like within the third year max, they've changed something. This is the same Liverpool team almost for 3 years. No, almost going on 4 years, really. It's the same Liverpool team, and they have been playing such relentless football for like 4 years running. Like, I don't think anyone's covered more ground than them, really. It's only recently they stopped playing so intensely. Because remember, they used to press everybody to death. Like, you weren't getting out of their press. But now injuries are catching up with them, especially this season where games are coming in thick and fast. They're playing what, 3 games a week almost? Like, they need to bring in some fresh players. They need to bring in someone new. Apparently Salah wants to leave. I don't know if that's true or not, but
it's a real.
That's if they can
Salah's
afford it.
going nowhere. Salah's going nowhere.
That's
They
if they can
cannot
afford it.
afford it.
Why are you so sure he's not going anywhere, man?
He came out the other day and said he's staying at Liverpool.
Yeah, they do that. They still leave.
I don't think Liverpool will sell him. Like, it would have to
don't
take
think
a
he did,
crazy
bro.
offer.
I'm quite
No, he
worried
did.
Liverpool are saving up for Mbappe. You know.
Don't say it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
Last year
scared
of
about
his
that.
contract, he's going Real.
Mbappe,
So,
Liverpool, get that in your heads.
Because he's spoken highly of Klopp as well. He likes Klopp. Mbappe.
he's going to Real Madrid.
He ain't going Real. He ain't going
Imagine
Real.
imagine though, Mane, Mbappe, and Salah up front.
That would be
crazy.
peak.
Crazy.
Don't want to.
Absolutely crazy. You know the amount of interchanging. Oh man.
And then you could play. Then you could play Firmino at Cam as well, where he wants to.
Yeah.
But if PSG pull off the unthinkable and get Messi in the summer, I think Mbappe will sign a new deal.
I don't think he will.
I think he will if they get him. That's what I think. That's the only reason why he
If I'm
said
Mbappe,
he's
you can't waste your career in the French league. No way.
I don't think he will.
He's got to go for Liverpool or Real Madrid.
I think he'll go to Real, but if
Real got the money for him.
I think going into his last year of his contract, they'll probably just wait for him.
I don't know. No, PSG
Or
won't risk
they'll
losing
still-
him for free. They won't risk losing him for free.
Or they'll sell Bell, but they can't force him to go somewhere if he's not going to go in it. If Real Madrid whisper to him, "Hey, we're going to take you," do you know what I mean? He could.
I don't see why
happily
Real
forfeit his
Madrid wouldn't have
contract.
the money. They always have the money. Barcelona are the ones with the money issues at the moment.
That's true. That's very true.
Plus, Real can always just get rid of Bale. Once you get rid of his wages, you're pretty much sitting pretty.
Yeah,
But where's Bale going to go? I don't think Tottenham are
he'll
keeping him.
No,
Bro, I think a deal could be struck.
but he's not played well enough for them. I don't think he's played well. Like, I'm watching this game here tonight. Been watching it a little bit, and I'm pretty sure he was taken off at half time, wasn't he? For Vinicius.
He's not the same player.
Yeah,
he's not the same player. But I think he just prefers being back in London, innit? Like, he's definitely not the same player.
I don't think he enjoys playing football. That's the thing.
Yeah, he just rather play golf. He should just join the PGA.
Isn't it, man?
Play golf.
Young Tiger Woods and that.
But we'll revert back to Liverpool. Is everyone saying second position for Liverpool?
100%. Because you know what it is, that switch, that turn, because they played a bit scared today, but then as soon as Curtis Jones came, was that a switch came on. There was an intensity in their midfield all of a sudden, and then they were just on fire after that. And West Ham were kind of playing all right up to then as well. They were threatening. Like West Ham have been good. I feel like we're ignoring West Ham. I think Moyes has done an excellent job with that team, especially the way people talk about it in the beginning of the season. But Tottenham, Liverpool did real well. Salah scored 2 great goals. So and that last goal was good teamwork.
Oh my God, the second Salah goal was
Yeah, that was brilliant.
amazing.
That was fantastic.
He took it down.
I don't think you won't see a better counter attack all season.
I don't think no one does that better than him.
100%.
That touch and then just shoot with your left. It's
It's
crazy.
unbelievable.
And the ball from
It's
Shaqiri
crazy.
as well was
And the touches on his weak foot as well.
Yeah, he did that against United as well. Just touched it, boom, dinked the keeper. Like he's so composed in them situations. It's unreal.
Guess if
Yeah,
Salah's
it's
back,
wrong.
so
yeah, Salah's back.
But no, they need to refresh though. Liverpool need to refresh. They have to.
I think a big loss for Liverpool potentially is Wijnaldum going for free in the summer as well.
I don't know why he wants to go to Barcelona. It makes
He's
no
underrated
sense.
as well. He's one of the best midfielders in the Premier.
It's a Dutch thing, the Cruyff legend, Cruyff legendary, They all want to go Barca.
Best midfielders in the Prem.
I rate Wijnaldum so high. I think he's the most underrated player, definitely at Liverpool, if not in the Prem.
yeah, definitely.
But going to Barca right now, I don't know. But him and De Jong, that link up could be mad.
Could be actually.
A bit messy.
Nah, Messi's gone, man.
Messi's not staying there.
He's out of there, man.
I think that's pretty much it. Richard, usually the guy that I come to for the team of the week. Have you done in the team of the week?
There is no team of the week this week, mate.
Well, should we just end this thing right now? There's no team of the week. All right, what about your player? We'll make it a bit different. Who's a player that stood out for you this weekend?
Salah.
Bamford.
Oh yeah, I watched that game. Bamford was quality.
Yeah.
His finish was
I would say
Performance.
for me, I'll say Hudson-Odoi because I feel like he's had so much. There's been so much hype for him, and he performed so well today. Especially considering everyone's saying him over Lampard weren't choosing him. I'll give it to Hudson, to be honest. I think he played so well today.
No, it's a good show.
Yeah, everything came down the sides. I'll definitely put him as a player of the week.
Emi Martinez for Aston Villa as well made a few good saves last night.
Callum Wilson putting a shift on Newcastle the other day.
Yeah, how they beat Everton 2-0.
That was another one.
So there's a couple shouts out there.
I mean tonight Brighton are about to beat Tottenham.
Yeah, I think they're gonna hold up.
Tottenham are ass, man. Jose. I'm Jose. I hate that guy.
Yeah, they did it full time.
I hate that guy Jose forever, man.
United
I told
fans are so
everyone.
bitter, man.
Told them.
I actually would take him at Arsenal, bruv.
You would take Jose at Arsenal?
You wouldn't.
Stop
I'm
that,
telling you
man.
now.
I would have taken him at Arsenal, bro.
No, you would not.
I would have, man.
You talking about?
Why?
You're
What?
talking about Mourinho.
Oh yeah, no, not Mourinho. I don't want
No,
to.
you wouldn't.
I would have, 100%.
Hey, you'll have him, and then you'll say sorry to us, fam. I'm telling you,
Bro, the way we were leaking
I'm
goals under
telling you.
Emery, I would have taken anyone. But Mourinho was just the guy I wanted to shore up that defense.
I just hate him. I hate Mourinho. I couldn't have him. As my manager.
So Brighton's
You
first
don't
home
want
win of the
that. You
season
don't
comes
want
against
that.
Tottenham with no Kane.
No Kane.
Yeah,
Kane really holds that team together in attack.
Was it off?
Tottenham got Kane today, boy.
It's a madness.
Corny.
Is Tabwa still there?
I think it's just
Nope.
Oh, the marathon just rose.
Reception is good.
Oh,
Hey, back Tyler.
Come
Go
on,
on now.
what's the outro? What's the outro?
It's a sign saying we need to go, man. I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you for joining us. Make sure to hit us on all the social at the Brothers Chat. You will catch this video on YouTube at some point this week. Audios will drop on Tuesday. So, yep, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And that's about it.
Cheers for having me, guys. It was a good chat.
Thanks.
Cheers for having me, guys. Take care.
Peace.
Peace out.